Minglaba and welcome to MI Radio's Myanmar Today. I am Agacho. Today we have reports on second Amyotha Hluttaw 16th regular session, concluding with question bills bylaws discussion. Yangon Circular Railway starting out with only 1/3 of the normal operation. University of Yangon Library made accessible for all. And government to reduce teaching hours at school. All of that on this edition of Myanmar Today, but for now, let's take a look at what's happening in local news. Chairperson of the Constitutional Tribunal of the Union, Amyotha, received the delegation of the International IDEA Myanmar, led by the head of mission, Mr. Mark McDowell, in Naypyidaw yesterday morning. During the meeting, they cordially discussed the cooperation between the CTU and the International IDEA Myanmar, increasing capacities of the researchers at the tribunal, plan to use electronic technology to hold online meetings, promoting electronic judicial system, possible signing of MOUs, and collaboration on conducting researches. The meeting was also attended by the members of the CTU, the Permanent Secretary and the Deputy Permanent Secretary, and the Deputy Director General. Heritage site was eerily empty due to the tight restriction period of the pandemic, and it has now received about 450 pilgrims per day on average. That is according to the Shui Zikong Pagoda Board of Trustees. Earlier, the historical temples in the ancient city were packed with a large number of pilgrims and tourists throughout the year. The temples and religious buildings in Baganyang Cultural Zone were closed to contain the spread of the coronavirus disease. Now the temples are reopened between 9 a.m. and 4 p.m. About 450 pilgrims come to the zone per day in the weekdays, and more than 1,200 were seen on the weekends. A total of 1,142 Myanmar nationals returned home from Thailand through number 2 border bridge in Myawaddy town of Kien State on the 6th of July. Kien State Hluttaw MP U Tan Sin Aung, Myawaddy District Administrative Officer U Teza Aung, and local officials helped the returnees with medical tests and other supplies. The number of migrant workers who returned home from abroad through this border has been 42,230 until now. The latest group of returnees included 690 males and 452 females from different regions and states. India's low demand on pulsation beans has brought down the black bean prices in the domestic market. That is said by an official of the Myanmar Pulsation Beans and Sesame Seeds Merchants Association. Regarding the importation of 400,000 tons of black beans for the next fiscal year, India has narrowed the import deadline by August end. It has also granted import licenses to some companies. However, due to the spread of the coronavirus infection, India's companies reduced the import volume. That's all with the local news. Now we will move on to our first report. During the 6 meetings of the second Amyotha Hluttaw 16th regular session, it was successful to raise 43 asterisk questions and 131 questions without asterisk. Hluttaw election bylaws were approved and 3 bills were submitted and discussed. The 17th regular session of the second Amyotha Hluttaw is to start again on the 13th of July. Dora Suisin has more.
The second Amyotha Hluttaw concluded the 16th regular session, which was held from the 18th of May to the 1st of June. At the sit meetings held during the 16th regular session, Amyotha Hluttaw discussed the questions, bills, and bylaws. 43 asterisk questions and 131 questions without asterisk were raised by the Amyotha Hluttaw representatives, and the relevant union level institution members responded to the questions. The Amyotha Hluttaw approved the 5th Amendment regulations of Pidu Hluttaw election bylaw, Amyotha Hluttaw election bylaw, and Region and State Hluttaw's election bylaw. The bill on the government's procurement and selling of property was submitted, and with the discussions by the Hluttaw representatives, they were sent back to the Bill Committee of Amyotha Hluttaw. After being passed by the Pidu Hluttaw, Amyotha Hluttaw discussed Bill on microfinance, as well as the Amendment Bill on protection of individual freedom and personal safety of citizens. The discussions were also sent back to the Bill Committee.
လွတ်လပ်မှုနဲ့ပုဂ္ဂိုလ်ဆိုင်ရာလုံခြုံမှုကိုကာကွယ်ပေးရေးဥပဒေကိုပြင်ဆင်သည့်ဥပဒေကြမ်းတို့ကိုဥပဒေကြမ်းကော်မတီကအစီရင်ခံစာဖတ်ကြားတင်သွင်းပြီးလွှတ်တော်ကိုယ်စားလှယ်များကဆွေးနွေးကာ
The reason of submitting the bill on protection of individual freedom and personal safety of the citizens is that in Section 10 it is said that whosoever is found guilty of committing an offense under Section 7 or Section 8 shall be sentenced for at least 6 months and up to 3 years and have to pay a fine. However, since this provision cannot be billed, anyone who is complained to commit an offense is to be arrested before finding guilty or not. Even though a citizen is wrongly reported, he or she cannot be billed, and the Justice and Legal Affairs Committee of the Bidu Hluttaw said this can affect the rights of a citizen. The Hluttaw representatives discussed that since it is the law concerned with the citizens, the amendment bill should be included the definition and meaning of the words mentioned in the provisions so that the citizens can well understand the law. The discussions were submitted to the bill committee again to be reviewed.
ပုံမပြည့်စုံကောင်းမွန်တဲ့ပြည်သူအများကောင်းစွာနားလည်သွားနိုင်ပြီးတော့ right and remedy အခွင့်အရေးနဲ့ကုစားမှုရရှိနိုင်မှာဖြစ်ပါတယ်
The Amyotha Hluttaw is to continue the discussions on the coming regular meetings of the 17th regular session for the benefit of the citizens. Nohlalaso, Amyotha Hluttaw representative from Yangon Region Constituency 10, talk about what she is going to discuss in the coming regular meetings.
The bill on protection and prevention of violence against women has finally arrived at Hluttaw. This bill has been developed even before I was a Hluttaw representative, so I will focus on this bill to perform the law protecting women's rights during this Hluttaw section. I raised questions and had discussions concerning about my constituency as well as about women and children. As Hluttaw representative, I could represent the voices of citizens as well as performing the rights of citizens. So I'm satisfied with the performance of the Hluttaw session.
Amyotha Hluttaw Speaker Win Khai then called for the 17th regular session of the second Amyotha Hluttaw to be held on the 13th of July. Reported by Dora Susan from Myanmar International Radio.
Thus, the report on the second Amyotha Hluttaw 6th regular session concluding with question, bills, and bylaws discussions. Comparing with the normal operation before COVID-19 outbreak, only 1/3 of the Yangon Circular Railway is operational. Myanmar Railways MR is serving the transport service to the public by strictly following the healthcare guidelines to prevent and control the spread of COVID-19. The Yangon Circular Railway is currently providing 54 runs a day with 17,000 passengers for the weekdays and 15,000 passengers for the weekends. Pildividu Sweman Williamson have more.
The Yangon Circular Railway is currently providing 54 runs a day with 17,000 passengers for the weekdays and 15,000 passengers for the weekends. The increase or decrease in circular runs and number of trains for city circular service depends on the government's relaxation of the restriction as to the COVID-19. According to Uzolne, Deputy General Manager, Traffic, Number 7 Division, Yangon, and Myanmar Railways, Emma. Before COVID-19 outbreak, the Yangon Circular Railway operated 168 circular runs a day with the use of a total of 21 trains carrying about 50,000 passengers. Uzolne, Deputy General Manager, Traffic, Number 7 Division, Yangon, and Myanmar Railways, said.
COVID-19 ရောဂါဖြစ်ပွားမှုမတိုင်ခင်ရဲ့အခြေအနေနဲ့နှိုင်းယှဉ်မယ်ဆိုရင်တော့ကျွန်တော်တို့ကသုံးပုံတစ်ပုံလောက်ပဲရှိသေးတယ်ဆိုတဲ့သဘောပေါ့နော်
If we compare with the normal operation before COVID-19 outbreak, only 1/3 of the Yangon Circular Railway is operational. Myanmar Railways MR is serving the transport service to the public by strictly following the healthcare guidelines to prevent and control the spread of COVID-19. We've arranged for the social distancing rules the passengers will have to follow in times of buying the tickets and waiting the upcoming trains. We also check the body temperature And then the passengers have to wear the face masks. We're not allowed to take the trains without wearing a mask. That's why all the passengers can take the circular trains of Yangon Circular Railway safely till now.
The Myanmar Railways MR has also expanded its rush hour train service of the Yangon Circular Railway since 18 May. 3 circular trains will be added to the Yangon Circular Railway for rush hours, and all circular trains, including 3 more trains, will provide 40 runs a day. The expansion of rush hours train services of the Yangon Circular Railway has been arranged to meet the social distancing guidelines issued by Ministry of Health and Sports. Uche is a passenger from Yangon Township, and he said,
Though I don't take the trains daily, I always choose the trains whenever I have to go outside. I prefer taking the trains for transportation as it is more comfortable for the passengers. The passengers, including me, are really thankful for upgrading the stations and the railway tracks by Myanmar Railways. During this time, the passengers should take special care for preventive measures of health. We frequently see that the train workers are spraying the trains in segment by segment with pesticides. Some passengers are not well disciplined while taking the trains. I am a bit worried about that. I want to suggest them to take the preventive guidelines for health strictly.
Myanmar Railways MR is cooperating with Japan to upgrade the roadbed, railway tracks, engineering structure, and railway signals of Yangon Circular Railway. The upgraded Yangon Circular Railway will reduce the traveling time by an hour, while one circular run of the city is estimated to take 110 minutes currently. The entire project commenced in 2018 is expected to be complete in 2022. Yangon Circular Railway, operated by Myanmar Railways, has become the local commuter rail network serving Yangon metropolitan area. And it is the cheapest method of transportation in Yangon, connecting about 40 stations with satellite towns and suburban area to the city. Yangon Circular Railway was built during colonial times by the British. In July 2011, the Ministry of Rail Transportation announced that it intended the Yangon Circular Railway to be privatized. I am Amyotha Hluttaw. This is news reporting from MI Radio.
That's the report on Yangon Circular Railway setting out with only 1/3 of the normal operation. Stay with us as we bring you more reports on Myanmar Today. Books of the University of Yangon Library have been made accessible to anyone. Before, the books were lent to the teachers, the students, and employees of the university. There are just a handful of libraries in Myanmar where people can gain access to the books for reference and research. The University of Yangon Library offers the largest collection of books to the readers. It is reported that books of the University of Yangon Library have been made accessible for anyone. Before, the books were lent to the teachers, the students, and the employees of the university. However, the new rule will allow anyone, including students and teachers from other universities and institutions. There are just a handful of libraries in Myanmar where people can gain access to the books for reference and research purpose. The University of Yangon Library offers the largest arrays of books to the readers, totaling more than 100,000 books written in English and Myanmar. Dr. Tin So, librarian of the University of Yangon Library, explained more on the new library rule.
The book that are lent to the outside will be quarantined after the return. People from outside will need to bring their NRC to sit and read the book here. And to borrow and take the book home, they will need recommendation letter from the authority and make a member card.
In 1929, the University of Yangon Library was founded, and it was mainly a research and reference library and had a reputation as one of the best university at libraries in Southeast Asia, specializing on history and culture. In 1992, another three-storied building connected to the university's central library main building was constructed towards the back of the library. UCL has the largest collection of books, palm leaf, and Barabai paper manuscripts in Myanmar. It leads all university and colleges' libraries. The collections of UCL are mainly for research and reference. Dr. Dinso, librarian, gave details on the books the library offers.
Myanmar စာအုပ်အနေနဲ့စာအုပ်ပေါင်းက 4,000 ကျော်ရှိပြီးတော့အင်္ဂလိပ်စာအုပ်အနေနဲ့ 9,000 ကျော်ရှိတယ်
There are more than 40,000 Myanmar book and more than 70,000 English book, as well as more than 19,000 teaser book on offer. There are two ways we combine these books. The first one is that the state fund is allocated for the book, and the second one is the donation from the foundation, such as Asia Foundation and the writers.
In Myanmar manuscript section, there is a rich collection of about 15,000 Myanmar manuscripts on palm leaf and about 4,000 Barabikes. Collection of palm leaf manuscripts and Barabikes focuses on non-religious subjects like literature, history, astrology, traditional medicine, customary law, Buddhism, and sociology and economic conditions of the past. The reprographic section was set up in 1973. Microfilms of colonial documents on Myanmar history were received from the India Office Library and Record in London, and microfilms of rare Myanmar novels and tazas or drama were received from the British Library. Preservation by microfilming ancient Myanmar manuscripts project was carried out in cooperation with the Cornell University Library of USA. This section has also acquired 500 reels of 35mm microfilms and 5,000 microjackets of rare and valuable Myanmar and English books. Mang Po Mang, student from Myanmar University, shared his experience visiting the library.
ကျွန်တော်တို့တည်တဲ့ခေါင်းစဉ်နဲ့ပတ်သက်တဲ့စာအုပ်ပေါ့ကျွန်တော်တို့ကိုလိုနီခေတ်ပညာရေးကိုကိုလိုနီခေတ်မြန်မာနိုင်ငံပညာရေးအခြေအနေ
I am doing thesis and I came from Myanmar University with my friend, so we are here to do research for our thesis here at the library. We informed the librarian in advance of what sort of books we would like to read, and so it's convenient.
With the new rule, the people outside will be able to borrow 2 books per one time, and Myanmar books will be lent for 1 week, and English books will be lent for 2 weeks. That's a report on books of the University of Yangon Library made accessible to anyone. As the schools are set to open on the 21st of July, starting from high school, preparation is underway with full acceleration. However, it is reported that the teaching time in the classroom will be reduced, where the teachers will make the students engage more in homework than classroom teachings, with the aim to keep social distancing priority in the school. Suyarana has a full report.
The government has been preparing for the opening of the school from primary to high school in Myanmar amid concern over the infection of COVID-19. But everything is prepared to prevent the infection and the spread of COVID-19 in all school environments. One of the most important aspects of the precaution taken by the government is to keep safe space for social distancing in all schools and take other precautionary measures. In maintaining social distancing, the Ministry of Education instructed all the schools to keep all the students 6 feet apart, which will make the school find hard to get enough space for the students, as a classroom which usually accommodates around 50 students will now be able to hold only 20 students. Therefore, it is hard to find a better solution to this issue. Speaking to MI Radio, Dr. Ngimon, Deputy Director of Yangon's West District Education Office, and she said,
July 21 ရက်နေ့မှာအထက်တန်းဖွင့်မယ်ဆိုပြီးတော့ကြေညာထားတယ်။အဲ့ဒီ21ရက်နေ့မှာကျောင်းဖွင့်မှာဖြစ်တဲ့အတွက်ကြောင့်
As the school will be open from the 21st of July from the high school, the school enrollment week will start from the 13th of July, and we will do everything to make sure that the enrollment of the school will have no problem at all whatsoever which is related to COVID-19, and we will see through that all the rules and regulations are applied here. We want to avoid all the problems which we might face during this enrollment week. For the prevention of the infection, we will make sure that the students who come by vehicles are checked with infrared thermometer before they get off the vehicles, and it will be done the same before they get into the vehicles. We have issued the restriction that the school bus cannot keep the students close to each other, and it will maintain social distancing.
Another huge step the government is taking is the teaching hours at schools will be reduced from 7 down to 5. The teaching in the class will be less, and the students will get more homework from the teachers so that the students can get to keep up with the curriculum. Even though the teaching hours in the class will be reduced, it is also learned that the school hours will not be extended and it will end in usual time of the year. However, according to Daw Teng Kimon, this decision is not permanent yet, as the government has not released yet the official announcement on it. Speaking further on this matter, Daw Teng Kimon also said,
In
the previous years, we usually had around 45 to 55 students in the classroom. But for now, we cannot do that anymore. A classroom can hold only 20 students, so we need many classrooms. And teachers have to give more time than any other year. Therefore, the Ministry of Education has already prepared for any possible shortage of the school teachers and classrooms. We have a solution where we calculate the ratio of the classrooms and students. If there is sufficient classroom and teacher, that school can go for the first solution, which is called Plan A, which is attending the school regularly. This solution is also called 1 to 20, which is a teacher for 20 schools. Likewise, we have Plan B, which the ratio is 1 to 40, Plan C, 1 for 60 ratio. From Plan B, the students will attend the school alternate 3 days.
Daw Wing is a school teacher from number 1 Basic Education High School, Babedan, and she also spoke to MI Radio about the change of timetable in teaching hours, and she said,
One
of the disadvantages we have by reducing teaching hours in the class is as the number of the students have to be readjusted. They will not take long in the school. The teachers will not take a lengthy time in teaching, so the students will get more homework from the teachers. In that way, the students and the teachers will get along with the lessons. But on the other hand, we have advantages of reducing school hours and keeping social distancing, which is the best way to keep the virus at bay and prevent possible infection and the spread of the virus in the school.
And that's all we have for today's reports, and it's time to check on some international news here on Myanmar Today. An estimated 10.71 million students will take China's National College Entrance Exam for 2020, also known as the Gaokao, starting on the 7th of July. This is the largest organized collective activity nationwide since the COVID-19 outbreak, although it has been postponed for 1 month due to the coronavirus. For this year, there are more than 7,000 examination sites and about 400,000 examination rooms across China, with around 945,000 teaching staff participating in the related work. The world's reluctance to prevent viral outbreaks will continue to claim lives and disrupt the economy, warned a report recommending a set of actions required for controlling epidemics in the future. Researchers suggested implementing the, quote, One Health concept of ensuring the good health of humans and animals for a healthy ecosystem on a priority basis. More scientific studies, cost-benefit analysis of the societal impacts of diseases, Raising awareness and regulations to curb animal and human interactions have been cited as other top 5 measures required for tackling the outbreaks. Massive demand for animal protein, unsustainable farming, massive exploitation of wildlife, and climate change have increased human and wild animal interaction, leading to the spillover of the viruses. Transmission of the viruses from animals causes more than 60% of the infections and 75% of the emerging infectious diseases among humans. The Australian state of Victoria has just recorded its worst day since the COVID-19 pandemic began, thanks to a surge of infections in state capital Melbourne, leading to the closure of its border with New South Wales.
Officials have made the decision to close the border between New South Wales and Victoria because of the growing number of community transmission cases. Now, that'll be a bit of a logistical nightmare given the number of crossings that exist between the two states. Health officials have confirmed 127 new cases in Victoria in the last 24 hours and the death of a man in his 90s. Several suburbs in Melbourne remain in lockdown, as well as 9 public housing towers, now home to around 3,000 people, where the number of new cases continues to grow. In fact, health officials compare the potential for the virus to spread in those towers with what we've seen on cruise ships, and that has many people there very, very concerned.
121 students living in fraternity houses at the University of Washington have tested positive for COVID-19. A pop-up testing site set up last week near the Greek Round section of the campus had conducted nearly 1,300 tests as of this weekend, the Interfraternity Council said. And that's all we have for today. Thanks for joining me on Myanmar Today. I'm Akajo. Have a great day, everyone. Stay home, stay safe. Goodbye.